Good morning. Welcome to AsyncAPI SIG meeting, 8 a.m. UTC, just for the record. We have a 23rd of November, a week after the conference. Oh, thank you, Barbania. At least you turned on the camera. So there's nothing in the agenda because it's like I said, it's a week after the conference. We finished on Thursday. So, but I see many people joined. Do you want to talk about something? Maybe conference or whatever you want.
Yeah, Lucas, are you able to share any general feedback or impressions from the community over the conference this year? Because I'm obviously, compared to last year's conference, there was a lot more talks, a lot more attendance.
Yeah, so I can only share what I see, what people write in public. So luckily everyone is happy and the feedback overall is very good. But if it comes to feedback to specific presentations, that's something I did not get yet because the whole schedule was handled by the Linux Foundation team, because we hired them because they have this schedule application and they could make sure that everything is done like properly. So this feedback did not come yet. I only got a like automated email from schedule, and I recall that you actually, Nic, and let me check again. I think I have the email somewhere so I can check quickly, or I removed it because I was waiting for summary from Linux Foundation. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to find it now, but I recalled from the email that actually your presentation and Selma's was ranked the second one, and I don't remember the first one. Even though
I'm happy with the podium spot, even if it's not the first.
The first one, I think, was, what was the first one? Oh my God, my memory is reset, definitely. But yeah, it was Nadia. Nadia, I don't remember the title of the talk, but it was related to, I think it was day 3. And the talk was, it was really interesting to talk about the schemas, schema registries and how to use them with AsyncAPI. And she was showing the API Curio and then Confluent schema registry, I think. So I think that was ranked the highest. But yeah, I'm waiting for an excuse me, for a summary from Linux Foundation team, and also will share feedback with presenters personally. No, I mean like directly with the speakers. Whatever.
Wonderful, thank you. Although that is an interesting insight then, that the top 2 were both around Kafka and schema registries with AsyncAPI.
Yeah, true. But we also I don't recall, because I don't think we have anyone here. Maybe Kuda, do you remember? Because I don't think we started sharing links to the feedback right after the first talk. I don't recall. I'm not sure if we didn't start doing it too late, like end of day 1, or maybe we started day 2. So mainly
yeah, I think we started at the middle of the day 1, I think.
Okay, yeah. And excuse me, and most of the people that were using Schedule app, and giving feedback there. It's a group that was like used to using this kind of schedule apps because they were using it to schedule their own personal conference schedule, so they know what talks they want to attend as a reminders, etc. But it's still a good group, a representative group anyway. And yeah, an interesting stats I can give is the feedback form that we had. I'm not sure about the brand because it's Missy that's handling the questionnaire about the AsyncAPI brand audit. But the other questionnaire we had was about like overall questions about AsyncAPI. So I can share it quickly with you. So there was a question: the AsyncAPI conference in 2022 should be held. And the question was online, in person, or maybe hybrid online person. So 72% of people voted hybrid approach to have online and in person. Then we also had a question: what is your experience with AsyncAPI? So 56% of people said they're exploring using the spec. 32% said they're using spec in production, and 12% of people said they're using it in their pet projects. And we had a general question if people know that AsyncAPI initiative is not just a spec, but also a set of tools. So 40%, actually we could summarize. So 88% of people said yes, they are aware and they're using or plan to use. Only 8% people did not know that AsyncAPI initiative is not only for AsyncAPI spec. And 72% of people knew that we are part of Linux Foundation. Only 24% of people were not aware of it. So we educated few folks. But for me, the most important is that we had a question there, like open question: if you were using AsyncAPI in production and you'd like to share with us your use cases, please put your email address so we can contact you. And we have 6 email addresses, 1 from Decathlon. So yeah, cool that we actually have people there that would like to share their use cases, that they're not hiding it. So hopefully next month we can leverage this and finally have some publicly described different use cases, how people work with AsyncAPI. And if it comes to numbers, it's also not yet calculated. I mean, numbers of viewers. I mean, I was putting updates for every day in the in the events channel on Slack. And it's hard to calculate further because it's like the number is growing, like people are watching. I see people sometimes DM me saying like they liked the event and they are now catching up actually with the presentations because they were not able to attend live. So I think it's important that the good about this live events is that people then can later also follow up with the presentations. Any other questions, topics you'd like to talk about? Maybe something more about conference? And yeah, recordings, we are gonna, although we have the like overall recordings from entire conference, we will release every single presentation also separately on YouTube channel. Yeah, first of all, to expose those dedicated recordings like more than just have them hidden in the stream recording. And the other one is also for the good of the initiative, like because we're gonna have a lot of recordings, we're gonna make we're gonna have content to use to make it make some noise around the project and bring more people to the project. So it's gonna happen next weeks. And now we're like, for me, goal today is to expense all the spendings we did on the marketing, and like summarize how much money left, and how much more we can spend on the swag packs for folks. We promised that we will send some swag packs to some of the conference participants, but I'd like to also send something to the presenters. So let's see how much money left. Anything else? Am I the only one enjoying coffee?
Yeah, so I know things like, for example, Kafka Summit, they have multiple multiple summits throughout a year. Same with DevOps, etc. Do we think at the moment Async API benefits from a yearly conference, or is there potential that as the community grows that we might want to do it more frequently?
I don't know. Do you think I mean, what I can say from my side, I personally don't see much involvement because I know that Kafka Summit have this APAC also version, I think, for like Australia, Oceania. But we don't see, for example, too much involvement of people from like that part of the world in the initiative, even though we try to have early meetings. Not sure about APAC. And for people that are involved, like so side of the world where we have like India and Pakistan, for them we have this like the Euro time zone, like a joint conference. I think it's fine to combine, but having separate for Americas, I don't know, like, so it's to be like, in the end, it's all we're doing everything that community needs. So last 2 years we were doing one event for one event a year, but if there's enough like people really need a dedicated conference just for one specific region, why not? Like, there's nothing is written in stone, really. Like the 2022, I would say, is open, and we can come up with whatever we want, whatever solution we want. I see Dave wrote we could explore meetup groups. Meetup groups.
Yeah, sorry, I am here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's much easier.
Yeah, to talk. It's just an idea. Just listening to Nic, but if we wanted like, yeah, just meetup groups, you know, like on meetup.com, and or people have like, I don't know, various other technology groups going on. It just gives people platforms to talk. Maybe do ad hoc sessions about what they're doing with Async. I don't know if they're, I guess, I don't know if there'd be any appetite for it or not, but it's just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the really valuable thing from the conference was seeing use cases, understanding how people were using the spec, challenges that they're facing, and just interesting business applications, etc. So I think for me, yeah, having to wait a year to find out these things has its disadvantages, whereas the ability to, as you say, even if it is more ad hoc, but publicizing the idea of a meetup, let's just turn up, chat, see what people are doing with guest speakers, could be a really valuable way of driving adoption and visibility, because yeah, I certainly learn from seeing what other people are doing. It has a great influence on then what I might want to do in the future.
Yeah, so what I can promise is that like my learning from this year is that whatever we decide on next year, I want to have a regular meeting just focused on events. Because also like personally, it was very hard for me, even though we managed to organize the whole conference, doing it purely async organization. Yeah, I sometimes I was feeling like I'm alone doing many things. So I'd like to, for next year, have a like dedicated meeting. It doesn't have to be every week, every 2 weeks. It can be just once a month, but like a place where we meet. We kind of summarize where we at, where we go in, and explore next year. So we know that people want to meet in person next year, but it's again like it's one, as you said, like you would have to wait until, let's say, September again to hear more stories, which is not the most perfect. So yeah, let's explore. So not like I said, like nothing is written in stone. Nobody decided on anything, and in the end, even if I decide differently, we can other folks can do things differently as well. So let us just keep that in mind, that it's our decision, not just mine. So yeah, because there are different options, like with, especially when you mention use cases. We also don't need a dedicated meetup to do it. So one thing I was recently exploring so far in my head, but I was thinking about these use cases that we got some email addresses. We also have some contact with people from the community that could share their use cases. Excuse me. And but it's a lot of it, like now let's say 7 emails here, 7 emails there. You need to drive those discussions, do some interviews with people. So for example, one thing I was thinking about, and it's something that we could explore, is that maybe we should get some kind of more engagement and like an alliance of dev advocates or similar roles across all the companies that are involved in AsyncAPI, and we could somehow set up we can call it meetup, we can call it webinar, we can call it however we want, but kind of meeting where yeah, we have this group of developer relation people that are technical and can also drive discussion in a good way, and have once a month or once every 3 months a kind of meeting and interview exactly with people that want to share their use cases. And once it would be like someone from company A, and sometimes it would be interviewer would be somebody from, let's say, IBM, and having a kind of interview, but it could be also a webinar, like a presentation. So there are definitely different options, like meetups, live streams. Not sure if we have to call it conference, but we can also have micro conferences. There's this concept, like people do this one-day event with just 3 talks, let's say, to share something. So yeah, it's it's all very, very flexible here. The most important is like that from all the ideas we have, we also have to have people that want to get into the driving seat and push it forward. Anything else from anyone? I wonder why everyone have cameras off. Was it a hard evening?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm here.
Hello?
Hello, did somebody say something?
Yeah.
Ah,
Can
yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
hey, Nectaris. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a bit and to show like at which stage I am with the desktop application regarding the simulator.
Yeah. You mean you want to share it now, or?
Yeah. 1 second.
Sure. I have to give you a co-host, right?
Oh,
So you can
okay.
share. Okay, now you're co-host, so you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. Can you see the window?
Yes.
Yeah, we see some application.
Can you see the window or no?
Yeah. We can. My scenario is on the screen. Nectarius, can you hear us?
Hello?
I mean, I can hear you. Not sure about others.
Yeah, I can hear fine. I
Yeah.
can see the demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not it's towards the final stage of being usable. It uses the AsyncAPI simulator library, the one that I made during a Google Summer of Code. Yeah, so it's not completely it's not that like you put your scenario file over here. You can put your scenario file over here. Like have what I call operations, like user logs on. So we have this particular channel and this example, and then we have a scenario. Like we can use the user logs on operation and the user game loop operation. So for the library does it, it's used to send asynchronous messages to different channels. And its purpose is to test backend systems. Yeah, it's to test backend systems. It currently supports the MQTT protocol, and in the future I will add more protocols. So what this does is you put the scenario file code over here and creates this UI. It's very simplistic over here for now, and you can click. So you can click over here like to simulate the request, the MQTT request in this particular operations. So I will send an MQTT request under here with the parameters that are specified. And we'll also perform a loop of 5 cycles, and it will send 5 times here and here and here with the related parameters. It's not completed, but yeah, I plan to complete it over like have it completely functional over the next 3 weeks probably. Yeah. All right. So this is what I wanted to show you.
So the question is like, so basically it works this way that you click on simulate, and then the simulator is triggering traffic, right? To the selected channels.
Yeah, that's correct. And also you will need to specify an AsyncAPI file for this to work. I've not added that feature yet. So you'll probably have to go through app here and select an AsyncAPI file. And like if you have wrong parameters here, if like player ID does not follow what's been specified in the AsyncAPI file, or the player ID, let's say, is not what's been specified. The server ID is not what's specified in the AsyncAPI file. Like it's a word, like it's not a string, it's something else. It's a number. Then it's gonna show an error. Like the AsyncAPI file will set the limits of what can be written here. Yeah, this is the stage I'm at currently.
And what happens on the right-hand side of the screen when you click on simulate? You see some data coming in, or?
Not currently. You don't see something, but I could add something in the future. Like it just simulates the traffic, but it's not complete yet. It's just yeah. So this is what I want to show you.
Okay. And question, because I recall we had some discussions offline about the desktop app. It's because it's very dependent on the simulator, right? The library.
Yeah.
And did you consider, because I know you asked if because you have the development in separate repo, did you consider that in case of this particular app, it would make sense to have a monorepo approach in simulator, to have development of the desktop app next to the library and have symmetric releases of both? So basically, whenever you do some improvements in the library itself and then trigger release, you actually release also desktop app, and you have the same version for both.
You mean the desktop application being in a separate repository and then being connected together?
Being in the same repository with simulator, yeah. Like
is this possible? You mean for me to add the build code and trigger somehow the automatic building of the desktop app and make a release of the app? Well, I'm not certain how I could do this, but yeah, we could talk about it.
Yeah, just because we have it like sometimes it makes sense to have monorepo, like with React component. In React component, we also have we also release a web component version and other versions of the component. Like so, it makes sense to have everything in monorepo and just manage 2 different node projects in one repository. And in this case, that's something to
that makes sense.
Explore, yeah. And we definitely can help out with initial setup. Just dropping you a idea if that should be really separate repo or long term actually part of the simulator.
Yeah, it should. I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any questions from anyone? Nope. Okay, so thank you, Nectarius, for sharing. Any other topics? Questions? You sure? Because next time we meet in 2 weeks. And nobody's gonna answer any questions before that. Okay, so the next meeting is 4 p.m. UTC, December 7th, in 2 weeks. But also tomorrow we have another contributor first live stream at 4 p.m. UTC if somebody wants to join. I will most probably talk about parser and something else. I don't remember, because we had like also something positive. I actually forgot to say. Also something positive about the conference was that we, like many people, joined mainly to contribute to the project, and I had some DMs and people asking like how they can start. So that's why tomorrow during the live stream I will handle like how to basically quickly set up a dev environment for the parser.js, and also some other projects. Some other project, but I just don't remember. Yeah, it's I think it's WebSocket Node project, the code generator. I think so. So yeah, anyway, you feel invited. So yeah, I will count to 3 to check if somebody has some additional questions or comments. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining, folks. As usual, morning calls are as engaging as watching cricket. Kuda. Yeah, thanks for joining, folks, and see you again in 2 weeks. Arrivederci. And I hope you're gonna fix your cameras until then.
Cheers, Lucas.
Cheers.